my name is Shelly, and I would like to welcome you to day 27 of our Women's March 2021 with She Is Ministries. And I would like to thank Suzanne for this amazing opportunity. So today I would like to speak with everyone about setting our foundation for the storms and about the storms of life. In the last year and a half, I think we've all faced a tremendous amount of storms that were very unexpected, that we never thought that we'd ever have to face in our entire life, but we did have to face them. So today, let's talk about the storms of life. Sometimes when we're in the middle of storms, it's very difficult for us to see God's hand or to see His promises in the situation when we're in the suffering and we're in the pain and we're walking through the storm. But that doesn't mean that He is not with us. God is always, always with us. And if the devil ever tries to tell you anything else, please just let him know that he is a liar, because you are never, ever alone. In Deuteronomy 31 says that He goes before you, that He is with you, and He will never leave you. So God is already making a way through the storms that we haven't even faced yet. He's just so awesome that way. So please know that, when the waves come against you, sometimes they appear to be big and they appear to be powerful, but the waves and the winds still know His name. God is still the God over the waves and the winds of life. So whenever those things come against you, I would hope that you and I both would learn to embrace those waves and to appreciate them, because we know that God can use them to refine us, and God can use them to turn us into the people that we need to be to do His kingdom's work here on this earth. So the storms, when the storms come against us, the storms are revealers. And the storms reveal what we have been doing and what we have not been doing, especially in our prayer life and in our spiritual walk. So we have to make sure that our foundation is built on what it needs to be built on to be able to get through the storms. Sometimes our peace and our joy and our hope seem to be built upon our job or our spouse or our children or our finances or our home. And when those things are rocked or completely lost and taken away from us, it leaves us just completely out of balance, and it leaves us in a very, very bad place. So, we have to evaluate and see exactly where, what our foundation is built upon. And our foundation needs to be built upon things that are lasting, not things that are temporal. Our foundations need to be built upon an amazing prayer, worship, and devotion life, upon God, upon the Word of God. Someone told me a long time ago that we should put the Word inside of us when we don't need it, so that it's there when we do. And I found that to be true. I mean, of course, we always need the Word of God. But when those storms arise and those waves come against us, it's so much easier to just dig down and just pull up and use the weapons of the Word of God that we already have inside of us, than to try to start working when we're in that weak and vulnerable moment to build up our strength and to build up our hope and to put the Word inside of us. So remember, take time every day to put the Word inside of you so that it's there when you need it. One sure way to keep a strong foundation is our secret place. This is something that, I had to learn. In Matthew 6:6, we're called to our secret place. We're called to go into our secret place and close the door. This does not necessarily mean a room in your house or your closet or anything like that. It just means a place where you can just block the world out and block the distractions out, so that you can connect your soul with God. Going to the secret place is just taking time out of everything that's going on and completely posturing and focusing yourself on God. So When I first started doing this, I was also told that I should practice the 5, 5, 5, and 5. Sometimes it's difficult when you first start being intentional on spending time with the Lord and building your relationship, with God, to kind of get in that groove, for lack of a better term. So, the 5, 5, 5, and 5 is very important. And guys, I know that everyone is very busy these days. We all have so many things going on, and we're all dealing with so many things. But we can all set our alarm clock 20 minutes earlier each morning and spend the first 20 minutes of our day with God. So spend the first 5 minutes in worship, then 5 minutes in prayer. And prayer is just talking to God. We don't need to complicate things. It's just relationship with God, talking to God. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. There are no right words or wrong words. It's just talking to God. And then also 5 minutes reading the word. And then 5 minutes journaling. And just journal what you're thankful for. Journal what God is doing in your life. Journal your petitions of what you would like for God to do in your life. But take that first 20 minutes of every day and give it to the Lord. And eventually that 20 minutes is going to grow into 30 minutes and 40 minutes and 50 minutes. And there have been times that after an hour, it was really difficult for me to get out of that secret place and to disconnect from that, to come back into everything that I have to take care of during the day, because it's just such an amazing gift and privilege that we have to be able to get into the presence of the Lord. So, and Jesus was able to sustain everything and face everything that was brought against him as well, because of his time in the secret place. There were times that he walked away from the crowds, that he walked away and he took his time with just him and God. And that gave him that strong foundation so that when, things did come against him like they did, that he was able to sustain the storm when it came against him. So, this doesn't mean that just because we do spend this time that we'll never have seasons of weeping, we'll never have seasons of challenge and struggle, we'll never have seasons of grieving and of mourning. Of course, we're going to have that. We're fleshful beings and we are living in a sin-filled world. We will have those challenges. But in Ecclesiastes 3, it says there is a time for everything in every season, for every activity under heaven. There's a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve or mourn, and a time to dance. Just because you go through difficult times, it does not mean that you're weak or that you're doing something wrong necessarily. I've spoken with so many people who feel like they should never cry or they should never struggle, but that's just not a reality, in the world that we live in. If you find yourself in a season of weeping or mourning, please know that it is okay to not be okay for a little while. There was only one perfect person who walked this earth. Only one. And in John 16:33, it says, in this world, we will have troubles. Guys, this is something that we cannot get away from. We will have troubles. But that's why it's so important for us to create this strong foundation so that when we do get faced with these troubles and these temptations and everything that we have to face, that we are better equipped to fight the good fight. Now, right now, I'm actually walking through quite the storm. It was very unexpected. And it's been a very difficult season. I spent 4 days crying, literally crying for 4 days. If I was awake, I was crying, and I cried until I went to sleep. I did not like that. I did not want to be crying all day. I did not want, to be struggling the way that I was. But, in John 11:30, it says Jesus wept. I mean, even Jesus wept. None of us can walk through every situation that we face in life and just be super strong and never get weak and never cry, but as God always does, when I first started to walk through this, and now of course, I was seeking the Lord, and he made his presence known to me, and he was there walking alongside me, catching every tear that I was crying and comforting me along the way. In Psalms 35, it says, weeping may last through the night, but joy comes in the morning. And guys, it really does. Sometimes that morning is 2 or 3 mornings later, but it does. As long as you're seeking the Lord, he's gonna bless you with this joy beyond your circumstance. On my 4th day, he just miraculously just took it all from me. It was just absolutely beautiful. He opened my eyes and I was able to see the blessings that were in the storm that I was walking through. And he gave me a peace far beyond my own understanding that I truly didn't understand as I was walking, but I felt him with me. Everything that we need is in him. And he also brought me to Psalms 126 that says, those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Guys, God catches every single one of our tears. None of them are wasted. He told me that he would use every one of my tears to irrigate the seeds, that my tears were watering the promises. It's okay to everyone out there who feels bad because they cry or feel like they shouldn't cry. It's okay. It's okay to cry. Give it all to the Lord. He can use it all for blessing. He can turn that test into an amazing testimony. Seek him, and in him is all that you need. In Jeremiah, in Matthew, in Luke, in Deuteronomy, and in Proverbs, we're reminded that he loves us and that when we seek him, we will find him. So if you're in a season of mourning right now, seek him and you will find the comforter. And if you're in a season of loss where you lost something, seek him and you will find the restorer. No matter what storms that you're going through, you're never alone. You're never alone. God can take the most difficult and the most horrific storms in our lives and turn them into the most beautiful things. He promises to give us beauty for ashes. And in my experience, that's what I have experienced with him. He can take everything that we give to him and he can turn it into something absolutely beautiful. So allow him to turn it into a powerful testimony. Don't hide from it. Don't try to run around it. Don't try to get away from it. Embrace the storms when they come to you. Embrace those waves. May we all learn to kiss the waves that are trying to throw us against those rocks and realize that it's through those waves that God can restore us and transform us and create a mighty testimony for us that he can use to bless his people through us here on this earth. So remember, though the storms may come, please do not focus on the struggle. Do not focus on your fear. Do not focus on the storm and how it can damage you or harm your life. Keep your focus on what you can learn through this. Keep your focus on what God can do through this for you and for others who are watching you walk through the storms. So focus on the opportunities of growth. And I know sometimes that's a hard thing to do when the waves are crashing, but intentionally focus on the opportunities for growth. Focus on God's hands. Focus on how you can be a blessing to someone else when you're going through the storms. And remember to take all of the struggles and all of the tears and all of the fear and just lay them at the cross and just sit back and watch how God takes all of that and all of the ashes and turns them into absolutely beautiful blessings and opportunities. So I appreciate everyone being here with me this morning. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to share this with you. Go out today and be the light, be the love in the world, be blessed and be a blessing. God bless you.